Okay, so we look at Ghost Recon Wildlands, the beta at 21:9. I honestly had very low expectations for this game. Everything I'd seen leading up to now had made me feel the gunplay was poor and unsatisfying, the world was bare bones, and the gameplay was limited, and that you would need 3 other real people in order to truly enjoy this. However, I am very, very happy to say that my opinion has changed dramatically after a number of hours playtime. Anyway, first let's cover the ultrawide support. Natively, the game works at any ultrawide aspect ratio, with the gameplay showing off more on the sides of the screen. This view correctly scales with the included FOV slider so you can achieve the perfect view for your setup. That said, the FOV slider only affects third person, and sadly first person ADSing isn't affected. The HUD, for the most part, scales to the edges of the screen space beautifully. However, there are a few elements that pop up here and there that have remained at 16:9. I would like these to be touched up and just shifted to the sides for the full game, but in general, it's all very good here. Screen effects like when bloody from taking damage use the entire screen space, but are very evidently stretched to do so. Cutscenes are both pre-rendered and in-game. Pre-rendered ones are 16:9 with black bars, and at times are 21:9, which means that they have 4 black bars all around them, which really doesn't look good. Luckily, there are a lot of in-game cutscenes too, and these beautifully use the entire screen space. The main menu is ultra-wide, with presumably the background image zoomed in order to fill the screen space. However, the sub-menus to the main menu are all like the in-game menus and customization screens. They're all 21:9, but all their menu elements are locked to 16:9, so you have the smoke effect blowing into the 21:9 screen space nicely, but no buttons, etc. extend into this area, so they're technically 21:9, but that's really quite a stretch. Loading screens are ultra-wide, with the image clearly zooming to fill the screen, but it looks superb compared to having black bars. Pop-up info boxes for tutorials are locked to 16:9, however the whole background scene is just shown with a blur effect, so it looks perfect at 21:9. Finally, the map screen is ultra-wide, with again the map elements just locked to 16:9. Performance-wise, things aren't great. The game is gorgeous on ultra settings without question, and so I'm not expecting to hit ultra settings at 3440x1440 on a GTX 980 Ti in a million years and get over 60 FPS. However, I do expect medium-ish settings to be possible, and I'm afraid you'll have to be going right down to very low across the board. Putting everything to the lowest possible points allowed me to hit the 70s, 80s, however the game looks absolutely horrendous, like unplayably bad. Sorry, but I'm not playing a 2017 game like this. It's the glaringly obvious lack of shadows that makes it look so horrendous. Putting everything to its highest possible point, I was able to maintain about 30 FPS, but would dip well into the 20s frequently. I really wanted to try playing at ultra settings because the game just looks so goddamn lush, but just I can't take the 30 FPS. I really did feel ill after a while. In the end, I ended up just bumping up a few settings like you can see on screen from low, and the game looks okay, and I can generally stay around 60 FPS, but I do still dip into the 50s often. On this point, thanks to my low settings, I get a lot of obvious pop-in, with loading in of higher res textures being the biggest offender here. I can turn around and just watch the ground textures loading in, and it really takes away from the beauty of the world they've created. All in all, Wildlands isn't horribly optimized by any means, but it does have notable room for improvement, and I really hope we see the slack taken up in between now and the full launch. Now, Ubisoft must be given massive praise for their extensive PC settings options. They have put in a seriously good number of settings to play with, and not only that, but every single one has a visual aid to show off exactly what effect turning that setting on or off will do. It really is fantastic for helping any new PC gamer get a sense of all these weirdly named settings that would otherwise mean nothing to them. I should also point out in the settings the FPS lock ability to stop your frame rate exceeding any number, potentially if you want a more stable experience if you're finding you're fluctuating too greatly. Well, this does appear to cause some input lag, which is certainly very noticeable on a G-Sync monitor if you've become accustomed to no V-Sync lag. I should also say that you just have two anti-aliasing options, and FXAA I would really say isn't an option here because the world, with all its fine lines of leaves that fill out the environment, make the image so blocky with FXAA, so use TAA whatever you do. So as I said, I had a low opinion of the game before playing. It just seemed like Ubisoft had failed to create a game with any real character or fun gameplay, but they've actually managed to do it. I'd say more on the gameplay quality over character quality, but yeah, it's still very good. So the game has you in Bolivia, with it overrun with drug cartels and a government that is essentially a puppet for the powerful drug lords that rule the growth and export of drugs up through Mexico into the USA. If you've seen Narcos on Netflix, then you'll get the image. Everyone has ties to the cartels, and essentially you're a group of 4 mercenaries sent in to kill the right people to dismantle the powerful drug cartels and help turn the tide of war in favor of the rebels trying to take back their country. Gameplay is very solid. It really revolves around stealth first and foremost, with most weapons given the ability to take a silencer, and you can sneak around through the dense undergrowth of the jungles and hide behind objects and the like to stay undetected as you complete objectives. That said, if detected, or you just choose to be loud, you can get into big firefights with your squad slogging it out with the enemies, and it's fantastic fun. Though I would say it's too easy on normal settings. Definitely check it up to hard to make sure you actually sense like you can die, because I only died from stupidity at the start whilst learning the controls. After that, it's just too easy to mow enemies down on normal. You're also given access to a seriously huge number of weapons, and you have lots of different equipment and upgrades and skills and customization at your disposal. Character customization and weapon customization is seriously good, and all in all the gameplay here is very well executed. You also have the ability, in typical Ghost Recon fashion, to switch between a first-person ADS and over-the-shoulder view, and it's very nice. I like to use over-the-shoulder for most moments and just switch in and out of the first-person view when I want total accuracy, as swapping from being behind your character then suddenly to their point of view is quite a change and is pretty disorientating. On the point of your AI squad, yes, they can be played by real people, either friends or randoms, but I have no doubt most of us will be using them as AI, as very few people can get their friends on at the same time to play. Happily, they are actually very well implemented and are all intelligent and not useless at fighting. The most useful part for them, I found, is to tag enemies and have your AI teammates get in position and take out those enemies when you shoot someone, or just have them kill an enemy on your call. It's seriously cool being able to drop a whole group of people instantly. They will also intelligently get in vehicles and fight for you if you give them the shout, and if you leave one behind, then they'll just teleport to you at the next possible point, so you don't have to worry about looking after them. You can also give them lots of directions, like go here, rally on you, hold their fire, or to open fire, and you also get the ability to control rebels if they're fighting with you. It's a little clunky to use at the start, but you get used to giving commands quickly with practice. Two gameplay mechanics I'm very happy to see are bullet drop and basic world destruction. It's not to a crazy extent, but there is decent destruction potential to some objects. The low point of this game is driving. Christ, I have to say this with any non-GTA game, and it's getting tiring that developers are blindly ignoring this absolutely crucial point. Driving in GTA games is so ridiculously fun because of the fantastic handling and physics, skewed to a fun level of both realism and, well, fun, in order to make driving a superb part of the game. Every Ubisoft game, however, fails to ever get driving even mildly close to what I want, and I'm afraid this is no exception. Driving is extremely bland and can only be described as jumpy. Vehicles just bounce up and down all the time when off-road, and there is just no fun to it. Why this is overlooked every time, I don't know. And for an open world game where you're driving a lot, it just amazes me that more time isn't spent refining this mechanic. Helicopters are thankfully better, and I don't have any real gripes against it here. Flying planes, however, is like cars and trucks, not good. It's been oversimplified with no ability to turn the nose horizontally left or right, but instead every single movement is bound to the analog sticks, making it an unsteady, inaccurate flying experience. I'm not asking for much. Once again, just take what GTA 5 did and don't try and change it. There is a reason Rockstar is the top dog. They know what they're doing, so don't attempt to change the clearly fantastic formula here. Sorry, rant over, but it annoys me every time that driving and flying physics are always so badly attended to. Ooh, this is becoming a long breakdown already, but there are still a few points I need to say, so I'm just going to rattle through them quickly so at least you know about them. There is surround sound support for those wondering. You can holster your weapon in order to not frighten civilians, though the extent of how useful this is I've yet to see. The loading screen to enter the game is very long, which makes restarting to apply graphic settings even more frustrating, but there are no loading screens once in game, so that's one good thing. Cars are a little glitchy when entering and exiting, with your character model clipping through the door a lot, and your teammates sometimes popping out of a vehicle if it's overturned. If your car is overturned, it will automatically try to right itself, which, just the way it does it just looks stupid, and really, again, it should have followed GTA's method of righting yourself. I had some bugs with sensitivity settings not changing for driving, so the camera movement stayed slow even after I changed it in the menus, and also turning down music in the menus didn't affect it in game. For those wondering how to swap the camera shoulder position, just hit the right bumper. It doesn't explain this in the game and was frustrating me so much until I worked it out. I do really miss the ability from Sniper Elite 4 to sprint whilst crouched as well. It's amazing how fast I got used to that ability, and I'm already feeling its loss here. The drone is very well implemented, with a short range and simple yet effective ability to help you scout the path ahead and plan your next move. I was a little worried it would be overpowered, but it isn't. And you can slowly upgrade its abilities to make it more useful as you progress. It can be a little difficult working out where exactly your bullets will hit up close to your character when aiming over the shoulder, as if you switch to your first person view, you'll realise where you thought you were aiming is blocked or the like, with something between your weapon and the target. But this is not noticeable from the shoulder position. On screen is a very good example of just when I couldn't work out why on earth I wasn't hitting where I was aiming. Lastly, there are lots of ammo dumps to change your loadout at any time to any weapon you like and customize your loadout, and the game has a beautiful day and night cycle which will totally affect how you tackle any mission, as it's randomized like the weather and will require the use of night vision and extra vigilance to spot danger. All in all, Ghost Recon Wildlands has a huge, beautiful open world to explore with solid gameplay and motivating story that is genuinely a lot of fun to play. It certainly has its issues, and some of them will turn away some people thinking about getting it, but on the whole, I'm excited for the full release, a big change from before when I really couldn't have cared less. I'm going to give this game a WideAsFcuk score of 3. It's difficult because the menus, which are all locked to 16:9, have ultra-wide black backgrounds with the smoke drifting across, which means that whilst I can't say that they aren't ultra-wide, it's hard to say they are because that's hardly proper 21:9 support. I'm interested to see if anything here changes in the full release. So I hope that gives you some information how the game runs at 21:9. Give this video a like if you found it helpful, and subscribe for future info. For any of the games at 21:9, head over to my channel or the WideAsFcuk website. Hopefully I've covered it. If I haven't, then leave a comment down below and I'll try and cover it. And if you'd like to support the channel, the links to my Patreon page are in the description. See ya later.
Hostile down.
We got rebels throwing down for cartel. What's our play?
Move there.
Roger that. In position. Target's marked. Just say the word.
Hostile killed.
Engage it. Take cover.
You guys ready?
Grenade, get to cover. Roger that. Tango down. Grenade, move. Grenade, move. Target down.
Sicario with a submachine gun. The airstrip. Take a look.
His history. We're clear.
No need to stress these people out. Keep the guns down. To the market, Jeeves.
Fire.
Roger. Fuck, engaging.
Your LT's trying to run.
Put him in a box. Fuck, sniper.
I'm riding the motorcycle.
Move out. I'm on your 6.
You'll be okay. I'm on my way.
At the bike.